And 4, 3, 2, 1, did it. Yeah. Yeah, we did it, James. We did it.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and some interesting developments overnight in the James O'Keefe ouster from Project Veritas. In particular, a massive F around and find out is taking place online against Project Veritas because many, including myself, associate James O'Keefe, rightfully so, with Project Veritas. And now that he's been Papa John'd out of his own company, um, people are angry about it, and rightfully so, because, unless there's something else that isn't public, which, at this point you would think would be out there, I have no idea what on earth is happening. People are online talking about all this infighting, right? Like, the Tim Pool versus the Quartering, and then, obviously the stuff going on at Project Veritas, and Crowder versus Daily Wire, and all these things. It is kind of spooky out there. And, what's interesting is, it's February, end of February, leading into March. It's time for us to be galvanized, I think. And, we can have our disagreements, but I think we're all swimming in the same direction. I would feel, and I'm just not sure. Everyone's kind of said their piece, so it's time to get back to work. So James O'Keefe pointed, since it's already out there, here are my heartfelt remarks to my staff this morning. I need to make clear I have not resigned from my company. Project Veritas, I founded 13 the company Project Veritas I founded 13 years ago. I was stripped of my position as CEO and chairman. I came to the Project Veritas office today to remove my personal belongings. If you're wondering what's next, stay tuned. And this is a video, I think it's about 45 minutes long. Certainly, if most of you have probably seen it, it's got 2.7 million views. The post itself viewed 5.2 million times with over 104,000 likes. What's so interesting is you look at a lot of the community out there, Carpe Donktum. It's terrible and tragic what they've done to you, my friend. Watching them destroy what you built is truly sad. I don't know if I could, on a much smaller scale, I used to have this YouTube channel. It was my very first YouTube channel called Be Your Own IT. And I built it up from the ground up doing computer repairs and selling little computer repair kits. I then had a day job. I wasn't making much money on it. And the day job was an internet business incubator. And so they offered me, I don't remember what it was like $100,000. And I've never seen that kind of money before in my life for like 95% of it. And I'm like, okay. I had a really nice salary at working for this company. So I'm like, okay, well, cool. I'll cash out and then I'll still own a percentage of the company and, help it grow. And then they completely bungled it and closed it. And actually, as of recently, they just deleted all of my videos, all the history. Now, of course, I didn't own it anymore. But it was really sad. I was like, dang, that part of my history is just gone. A lot of times people would pull up like the first video I made on YouTube like 13, 14 years ago. It's gone now. I think I was talking about why you shouldn't smoke next to your computer. Um, but like it sucks. And I imagine, I had built that YouTube channel for several years and it was just gone. And obviously, Project Veritas is a little bit of a bigger animal. It's on the, nth degree of what that felt like. But I feel like I can relate at least a little bit. Everybody in these responses, of course, wherever you go, James, we will follow. Project Veritas is nothing without you from Sarah Gonzalez. Everybody in the conservative or mid-conservative space rallying behind James O'Keefe. And like I said, unless there's something we don't know about, I just don't understand it. I mean, this is like it's like when Jeffrey's camera wasn't working, right? That doesn't that feel like that a little bit? Like, what in the heck? This is happening right in front of us, and nobody can stop it. You've basically taken the heart out of Project Veritas, and I feel terrible for all the employees there, um, who probably just want to do good work, and now I don't know if they're going to be gone or they're going to be also it's difficult to know exactly what is going to happen to everyone that works there. Um, there's reports of how James alienated donors. Who? Pfizer? Where there's some far lefty companies that were donating to Project Veritas and got mad when they had the biggest story of their life. I don't know. And we've now reached the find out stage as Project Veritas has responded to it, getting ruthlessly ratioed with, let's see, 3,600 likes on 1.9 million views. Obviously, 22,000 comments on it. Nobody's happy about it. Nobody even really understands exactly how we got here because we have, we'll look at this post, of course, but just everybody absolutely demolishing him. Paisano posted his goodbye video. Veritas doing that, memes, 1,700 likes. Hodge twins, y'all about to get ratioed over this one. Already happening. Glorious to see. I don't know if I feel, it's hard to feel great about this. It's hard to feel like, ha 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 ha, you're getting what you deserve. I mean, yeah, it is. They are, but dang, like, you know, this company was is doing amazing work in the space. Now, I don't always think every story that they present is like the incredible bombshell that it's presented as, but certainly things like the Pfizer interviews, kind of a big one, when they were getting teachers on tape talking about ignoring, what they're told. You see trending right now, James is Project Veritas with over 50,000 tweets. I mean, everybody in these comment sections, obviously, you're losing followers faster than Joe Biden. Biden's losing brain cells. I unfollowed today. I suggest everyone else unfollow. It's become this kind of mass unfollowing event. And I guess I don't really know because if we look at how many followers they have lost, um, I, you know, outside of the meaningless beauty community, I don't think I've ever seen a mass exodus like this. If you look back like last week or back on the 9th when it kind of broke that James was on his vacation, they stemmed the tide a little bit by posting this picture of James. And we're going to get to their hilariously, their huge lie in just a minute. Uh, and then they even started growing again. Thursday, 2,000 followers, 1,000 followers, still growing, growing, growing. Then boom, Monday, 192,000 people left. Tuesday, we're already at 58,000. If it's at, let's say, 221,089. So I don't know when the last update this, so it doesn't look okay. So it looks pretty recent. Obviously, it's just constantly going down. It's wild to see, what 250,000 people right now have unfollowed Project Veritas. I haven't unfollowed them yet because I keep waiting. You guys know how I am. I'm like, oh, please let there be a kernel of reason for this insanity. But, as time goes on, I would think if my entire business was crumbling around me, I might issue some sort of statement saying, well, actually, you guys all, dumping on us. Well, here's the truth. That's what they posted. And it was the most ridiculous garbage anyone's ever seen on the internet, on top of the fact that they brazenly lied just 2 weeks ago. So I don't really see this as any other type of situation where you don't. The only situation here is that the board intended to destroy Project Veritas. That's my opinion. Today, James O'Keefe decided to remove his belongings from Project Veritas headquarters. The board and management made numerous attempts in the last 14 days to have a conversation with James, but he ignored our outreach and decided to instead leak private information to others, either by doing so himself or by proxy. I'm not really sure what that's referencing to. As today is President's Day, our office was closed. We had a board meeting scheduled for tomorrow where James was invited. There was also a board meeting on Friday, February 10th, where James was invited but did not attend. Imagine attending one of these struggle sessions in a company that you built to discuss financial malfeasance that was discovered, which requires us to act in order to remain in compliance with the law. So, what they're trying to imply here is that James stole money or misappropriated funds. That's what they're trying to imply here, in my opinion. There were two subjects that the board wished to come to terms with James on: the company's long term stability based on staff retention and morale, and the company's financial health, which had been a serious concern for several months now. Really? You guys get millions of dollars in donations every year. What are you talking about? Financial stability. What do you even, what? Although PV leadership has not concluded looking into the full scale of the financial issues over the years, a preliminary review at this time indicates that James had spent excessive amounts of donor funds in the past 3 years on personal luxuries. More is still being uncovered during this ongoing review. Contrary to many reports from today, James was suspended indefinitely pending the resolution of a fulsome investigation and clarity which we need to be providing by third-party investigative audit report. Here are a few examples of what's been uncovered so far by PV leadership. This is far from an exhaustive list. So here's where they are going to attempt to smear him. $14,000 on charter flights to meet someone to fix his boat under the guise of meeting with the donor. Well, that's not good if true, but maybe it was both. I don't know. $60,000 in losses by putting together dance events such as the Project Veritas experience. Well, I'm not sure that that's financial malfeasance. You had an event, you lost money. I don't know how those things are related. Maybe the intent was to drum up donors, which didn't happen, and so you're blaming him for that. I don't know. This one is a little odd. Over $150,000 in black cars in the last 18 months. I don't know what that means. Does that mean in a year and a half he bought 2 Escalades? Because I mean, honestly, the price of an Escalade is like 60K, 70K. So does that mean he bought 2 Escalades in the last year and a half? And I don't understand. Or does that mean Uber black and he's spending an enormous amount of money on Uber? I don't really know. Thousands of dollars spent on DJ and other equipment for personal use. Hundreds of other acts of personal inurement. Hundreds. The board wants to work things out with James and has tried every route possible to remedy the situation and to take the legally required corrective actions. James also left us no choice but to suspend him in the last few weeks when he unilaterally fired the CFO, who can only be fired with board approval. This is a violation of our nonprofit's bylaws. James went as far as to say that a board member had approved this firing to others, but it was later discovered that that was not the case. That member did not approve the firing. Board approved James's suspension, so it would have time to properly investigate these internal infractions. Now, this does sound like maybe these things are all true, and this is like some sort of growing pain for somebody who started the company and was used to spending its money more freely without oversight. I could see how that might be like, hey, it's my company. What are you telling me? I can spend the money however I want. Maybe that happened. None of these things, except for the 150K on cars, is a little suspect. But the charter flight, if he wasn't meeting a donor, that's super sus. But let's not pretend that small businesses don't have business expenses all the time that are, loosely tied to their business. I don't really care if they wrote some things off that weren't 100% business, but when you're a nonprofit, these things are, relevant. Except if I'm to take their word on this, I'm concerned when they wrote, James left us no choice but to suspend him in the last few weeks when he unilaterally fired the CFO. But that's not what they said 2 weeks ago when they tweeted, of course, James O'Keefe is alive and well. Why wouldn't he be? we're sure many of you can agree there's nothing better than enjoying a well-deserved vacation. So this was, 2 weeks before where they, brazenly lied that he was in fact already suspended at this point. So they lied here. That puts everything else they're saying into question. Maybe they had a business culture, a work culture where this stuff was okay, and then the spending stuff, and then suddenly when they wanted to get rid of him, it became a problem. I could absolutely have seen that. Look, I know a lot of business owners, their personal car has a magnetic sticker on it that says their company name. I don't care about that because the government steals our money in taxes anyway. So if that's what this stuff was, gray area write-offs that were suddenly a problem now, that also seems very suspicious. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And if you haven't yet, please do. I hope I've earned it. Please do subscribe today. There's a link down below to do that. It helps immensely, especially with videos like this, because YouTube does not serve up videos about PV and their doings. So the only way you'll generally see them is if you're subscribed. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.